Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Success begins with Bismillah, and we are starting our lecture with Bismillah. This is your teacher Zaitun Niazi saying welcome to you in this new lecture. Dear students, this is our unit number 8. We are going to be doing the reading and comprehension portion of this unit. The lesson number 1, name of this lesson is The Voice Villagers, and the pages included in this part are from page number 84 to 87. Here are some words to know which are important to discuss because these words will enhance your vocabulary. This is our unit number 8, lesson number 1, The Voice Villagers, and words to know are curious, fertile, lunatics, method, penknife, stupid, and wildfire. Curious means eager to know about something or get information. Fertile is an area or land that produces many plants and crops. Lunatics are actually the people who are mad, crazy, or foolish. Method is the system or always a way of doing something. Penknife is a small knife whose blade can be folded away in the handle. This is usually kept in the pockets to cut the fruit and anything like that. Next word is stupid. Stupid is with no common sense or silly. These can be used for the people and for the animals too. Next word is wildfire. Wildfire is a fierce fire that spreads rapidly, especially in a forest, because you know that in a forest, trees are very much together and they are very near to each other. That's why the fire in the wild, mean in the woods or the forest, spread so easily. That's why it is called very fierce fire. Dear students, here is the part of reading. We are going to start this from the first line. There was once a large village that lay near a wide river. The land was rich and fertile, and the people who lived there were happy and wealthy. They had no enemies and lived peacefully. They troubled no one, and no one troubled them. Means this is the story of a village in which some people were living and they were peace-loving fellows. So they were having no enemies and nobody tortured them or troubled them. But once they were in the trouble, how they get out of that, we'll get to know in the story when we read it furthermore. Not very far away from the village, there was a town. One day the people of the town held a meeting. They gathered in the marketplace to discuss a plan for a new road. The road was going to be built between their town and another one, about 50 kilometers away. A large map of the area was studied and a route was soon worked out. The people decided how much money they were going to spend on building the road. See, everything was in plan, like the map, the money, the route, everything was decided. But one thing was not decided. That was the advice of the people of the village where the road is going to be built. Following this meeting, work began and the news of the road reached the people in the village. Some of the villagers got together and went to find out more. When they reached the town, they went straight to the office of the district officer and looked at the map. Now it was point to worry about the people of the village that if the road is going to be built, into their road is going to be built. Following this meeting, work began and the news of the road reached the people in the village. Some of the villagers got together and went to find out more. When they reached the town, they went straight to the office of the district officer and looked at the map. Now it was point to worry about the people of the village that if the road is going to be built into their fields or into their houses, how they are going to live or how they are going to be surviving. Because if the road is going to be built in between their fields, then they would end up starving. That's why they went to the district officer's office to check the map. When they returned home, they called a meeting of the villagers. One of the men who had seen the map said, "Friends, today some of us saw the map of the new road. It is going to pass close to our village. It will go through some of our best fields and they will be destroyed. How can we stop this road?" Now the suggestion of this fellow, he is worried about his fellow villagers. And he is asking them that what do we do when they build the road in between our fields? How can we stop this road? The villagers were very angry. They sat in the meeting for a long time and at last they thought up a plan. Now they gathered there. They were angry because nobody asked them to build a road in between their fertile fields, and now they wanted to make a plan to stop building that road. A week after the meeting, a man from the town came to the village and found a great crowd of people beside the river. The man from the town was curious. After a week of this meeting, the man from the town now came to the village that to check that how the village people are doing and where the road is going to be built. But he saw a crowd. There were people gathered at some place and that was beside the river. The man was very curious. Remember the word curious? We had read this in Words to Know. It means that he wanted to check, he go there and wanted to check that why they are gathered here. This question was in his mind. He is written here and the next line would. He went over to where the people had gathered. He squeezed through the crowd and saw an amazing sight. There were 7 men standing on the bank of the river and 7 men on the other. They were holding a thick rope stretched across the river. In the middle, someone had tied a cup. Now, what did he saw? He saw that some of the men are gathered there, half on the one side of the bank and half on the second side of the bank. And they are holding a thick rope and now they are stretching it. And in the middle of that rope, you can see this in the picture very clearly, that in the middle of that rope, there was a cup tied with the rope. "What are they doing?" asked the townsman. Townsman asked one of the people who were standing there that what are they doing? What are these crazy fellows doing? "They are taking water out of the river," replied a man standing close by. The man replied him that they are taking water out of the river. They are collecting it. "With a cup?" asked the townsman. "They are taking out the water from this much big river with a cup?" "Oh yes," replied the man. "But it will take hours to get a bucket full," said the townsman. Townsman asked him that to fill this bucket, it will be required an hour. "Yes," said the man. Man said that yes, it will take an hour or more than 1 hour. "It is slow, but we always get water out of the river like this. It's a slow way, but it always works." Now, this is a typical reply for every of the deed which the village people are doing over there. And this is the first one, that it is a slow way, but we always do like this and it always works for us. The man from the town was very surprised indeed. He was astonished. He came back, he scratched his chin and said to himself, "These people are all mad. When he got back to the town, he told all his friends about what he had seen in the village. They laughed and laughed. Now he went back to the town and he told the townsfolk, the people of the town, that what did he saw in the village. At first, the people of the town laughed at the people of the village, that how crazy people they are, that they are taking water with the cup from that much big river. So they are having no sense. One or two of the man's friends just could not believe that people could be so stupid. So the next day, two of them set off the village to see for themselves. Okay, now this man was having some friends and they do not believe what the man was saying. So the next day, they go to the village by themselves. When they arrived at the village, they found a huge crowd of people standing round a tall tree. The trunk of the tree was nearly 2 meters wide. Two men were busily working on the trunk. Each had a small penknife in his hand and was cutting the wood. They were working so hard that the sweat was pouring off their foreheads. Now this is the turn of other two men who came from the town, and what did they saw? They saw that the people of the village were cutting the trees with pen knives, that small knife, foldable knife. They were cutting the tree with that pen knife and they were sweating so hard. Sweating means the little drops of water are on their forehead. What are they doing? Asked one of the men from the town. Why, they are cutting down the tree, replied one of the villagers. Can't you see? He said that they are cutting down the trees. Are you blind? Can't you see by yourself? With penknives, asked the townsman. That man asked that with penknives they are cutting the tree. Yes, said a villager in the crowd. We always cut trees down with penknives. We always use this penknife to cut the tree. But it will take a year or two, said the townsman. Yes, replied the villager. It is slow, but it is a good method. It always works. See, the same reply which they had given before. The men from the town were quite astonished. He was in awe-struck situation. They went back to the town. The stories about the villagers and their odd behavior spread like wildfire. Means in the town now the stories are spreading that the villagers are gone mad. Those people are quite mad, the townsfolk said. People of the town, they are asking now that the villagers are mad. The news even reached the district officer. What's all this about? He asked. Are the villagers really mad? Yes, indeed they are, replied the chief clerk. They take water out of the river with a cup and they cut down the trees with penknives. They are quite crazy. Now the district officer asked that are they really mad or they are pretending to be one. Then the chief clerk said that yes, they are mad because the person who take water or the persons who can take water from the river with a cup and the villagers who are cutting the trees with penknives, they are the literal crazy people. Are they dangerous? Asked the district officer nervously. He said now that are they dangerous? They are crazy, that is correct, but are they dangerous too? I don't know, replied the clerk. Clerk said that about this I do not know. The following day, the district officer and a few of other important people of the town went to the village to find out more. When they got there, they saw a long line of women walking to and from a large anthill. Now, when another person come to check on them, what were they doing? That is another crazy act done by those villagers. They were gathered with an ant hill or an ant hole and what they were doing there. When they got there, they saw a long line of women walking to and from a large ant hill. Each woman was carrying a breakfast basket. The first woman in the line stepped up to the ant hill and took an ant from the moist earth. She put the ant in her basket and carried it away. "What are they doing?" asked the astonished district officer. Now the district officer is again puzzled, and he said that what are they doing here again? What are these women doing? Why are they standing alongside the ant hill and with that basket? And then he asked that what are they doing? Then a villager replied, "They are carrying away ants," replied a man standing nearby. "Why?" asked the district officer. He asked that why they are moving those ants one by one in those baskets. "Because ants are very dangerous," said the man. "They eat everything. We must carry them away." Now the villager asked that these ants are very dangerous. They eat everything of our field and from our houses. That's why we are carrying them away. "But one in each basket," cried the district officer. "That's ridiculous. That you Okay, if you're carrying the ants from this anthill away, then why not many of them in one basket? Why one in each basket?" "We always do it that way," replied the man. "It's slow, but it's a good method. It always works." Now, the again typical reply that they are saying that we always do like this, we always do the work like that, and this is a slow method. Our methods are slow, but these methods always works for us. When the district officer returned to the town, he called a meeting. "I have been to the village," he announced. Now, who went there the last time when they were taking the ants from the anthill? District officer went there. When the district officer returned to town, now he is back to the town, and he called a meeting. "I have been to the village," he announced, that I went there in the village. "The people there are quite mad. The people who were living there, they are quite mad. They take water out of the river with a cup, they cut down trees with penknives, they carry ants away one by one. They are lunatics. Don't go near them" means that they are crazy people. Do not go near them. Do not build road over there. "But sir," said one of the secretaries, "our new road is going to go right past that village, that we are building our road into that village." "Then change the plans," wrote the district officer. He cried that change the plans. Do not build road in between the village. We can build the road along the top of the hill. It must not be constructed near that village. That you are saying that in between the village, I'm asking to you that you have to construct that road on along the top of the hills, but not near that village. So the road was built along the top of the hill and did not go anywhere near the village. The people of the village plowed their fields and went back to their undisturbed way of life. They were not mad at all. They were very wise. Okay? The villagers were not mad, but they were very wise. They used their wit. They used their mind to stop that road to be built in between their fertile fields. This story is written by David Horsburgh, and here is a question: that which parts of the passage show us that the villagers are nice people? So this is after reading question, or while reading question, that which part of the passage show that the villagers are the nice people. How do you know that the villagers are nice people? The last part of the paragraph, this last one, shows that they are very nice and wise people, because they were very wise and they plowed the fields and went back to their undisturbed way of life because they were having no enemies. They disturbed no one and no one disturbed them. It is the exercises portion, and this is the comprehension part of that. This why we are discussing this alongside the reading, because these must be easy for you now. You had done the reading, you had listened it properly, and now you are going to write the answers by yourselves. I'll give you some clues, and after that you will be able to write the answers. Did the villagers have any enemies? Do you think so? They were having any enemies before? No, they were not having any enemies. Where was the new road going to be built? Now, this is a very easy question. Yes, you people know that where that road was going to be built. कहाँ पे वो road बन रहा था? What were the men doing with the rope and the cup? When first person went there to the village, what were the village people or the men standing there alongside the river? What were they doing with the rope and the cup? Your clues are they filling water or they were swimming? Okay, you have to find it out. What were the villagers doing with penknives? What were they doing? They were cutting apples or they were cutting trees? You have to choose one. What were the villagers doing with the ants? What were the villagers doing with the ants? The women were standing nearby the ant hill. What were they doing? Were they eating the ants? Or were they taking them away from there? What answer did the villagers always give to the townsfolk about their methods? Well, this one is my favorite question, and the answer is very, very, very nice and easy. That this is a slow method. We always do it like that, and it always works for us. I told you this. So you have to find it out from the reading and write as an answer. This question is more difficult to discuss at first, so we didn't discuss it first. We are discussing it now here. Do you think the villagers were clever or stupid? Give reasons for your answers. 2 or 3 reasons would be enough for this answer. Do you think that villagers were stupid? I don't think so. In the challenge part, you'll learn from the story that the villagers and the town folks made decision after holding a meeting. In what way are meeting useful? How do they help people to solve problems? How do they had done 3 tricks, and then that meeting was useful. Yes, that meeting was useful because after that the towns folks stopped building their road in between their fertile fields. Thank you so much for listening, and this was all about this part of reading and the comprehension portion. Stay happy, stay fit, and keep praying for everyone, for your teachers, for yourselves, and for your country. Allah Hafiz.